We've just spotted the Specialized Tarmac SL9 at the Tour Auvergne Rhone Alpes, or the Dauphiné, or whatever they call it. At this point, you've probably already seen at least some leaks, but from what we've seen, I'm not sure all of those rumours are 100% true. So buckle up and let me talk you through the most anticipated road bike of 2026. The Tarmac SL8 is regarded by many as one of the world's best road race bikes. And here at Cycling Weekly, we often use it as a benchmark, not just as a climbing bike, but also as an aero bike. Now, despite continuous rumours of Specialized bringing back the Venge, this once again doesn't appear to be the case. And the SL9 looks like an evolutionary change rather than a revolutionary one. To be fair, there's not really any need to fix what isn't broken. So, what are the changes? Well, the largest and most obvious change appears to be this seat tube. It now shrouds the rear wheel and is much bulkier around the seat stay junction. This seat tube design by no means looks as extreme as something like the Cervelo S5, but rather more akin to what you'd find on the latest Canyon Aeroad CFR. This change is undoubtedly to try and make the SL9 more aero than the SL8 and its competitors. The SL8, after all, is a bike that can easily be built under the 6.8 kilo UCI weight limit, and so it makes sense to chase aero gains rather than trying to shed a few more grams. When Specialized released the SL8, it said that the most important parts of the bike from an aerodynamics point of view were the leading edges, or the parts in the free stream. Basically the bits that see the wind first. That's why they went for the speed sniffer at the front end and deeper head tube, but left the seat stays and chain stays skinnier at the back to aid comfort. So, is Specialized going back on this thought process? Well, definitely not completely. From the shots that we've got of the SL9, you can see that the seat stays and the chain stays look remarkably similar. Maybe slightly more bladed, but definitely not much. They join the seat tube at a similar height too, so no changes in that regard. But what about the front end? Well, the speed sniffer remains, but the fork certainly appears to have had some changes. Look here at the fork crown. To me, that looks more angular, but let me know whether you agree or disagree with me down in the comments. Another potential change is at the bottom bracket area. Compared to the SL8, the SL9 appears to be more scooped. Could this potentially clean up air under the bike? We don't know. Now, before we get to the rumour that we don't think is true, we'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Elite. Now, if you're going to be tuning in to see bikes like the Tarmac SL9 being used at the 2026 Tour de France, then you're going to see Elite bottles and cages absolutely everywhere. Since 1979, the pros have loved their high flow and their low weight, but you might love the huge range of colours and responsibly chosen materials. So, whether you're an amateur trying to survive a weekend hill climb or a racer looking for maximum performance, make sure that your gear is as good as what the pros use and check out Elite's full range using the link in the description below. So, one thing that the leaked images online appeared to show was a different seat post design, which is deeper at the top than where it goes into the seat tube. From what we've seen today though, this doesn't appear to be the case at all. Certainly not on this bike, which was sporting a Belgian flag, so we're guessing it belonged to either Maxime Van Gils or Gianni Vermeersch. What else can we see? The head tube could potentially be a little bit narrower. Might just be the lighting though, and we would presume that the new bike would also have UDH, or a universal derailleur hanger. This photo doesn't really confirm or deny that, but we haven't seen many bikes released without one in recent years, including that new Specialized Crux. I like the look of that. Specialized often releases a new handlebar when it launches a new model, and this SL9 is sporting a Roval cockpit, as you might expect. It looks very, very similar to the current Roval Rapide cockpit though, but just because this bike doesn't have a new one, it of course doesn't mean that the ones we are able to buy won't have a new one. They might. This rider might simply prefer the feeling of a non-flared bar, for example. So when can we expect this to be released? Well, now that Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe are using it in competition, the UCI rules stipulate that the manufacturer has a maximum of 12 months to release the bike to the general public. We would suggest that we'll see it a fair bit before then though. Remco Evenepoel will no doubt be eager to ride the fastest bike possible at the Tour de France, and going off of Specialized's usual launch timeline, we often see a release about a month after we first see it. They don't want everyone just seeing it and then getting bored of it by the time they release it and we can buy it. Now, I know there's been some images circulating on social media saying that the bike will be released this weekend at the start of June. But I honestly think that's a deep fake, or whatever we call it now. We'd have seen more of it by now if that was the case. Dealers just never seem to be the best at keeping their bikes under lock and key. So yeah, I don't think that's true, but well, who knows? Let me know what you think of the Specialized Tarmac SL9 in the comments below. Do you think that Specialized has done enough? Are you tempted by it? Or do you have your eye on another race bike? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed to the Cycling Weekly channel, because we've heard some rumors that there's some more unreleased bikes to see coming very soon. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.